Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm audible. Hello, Anubhav.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what about other 20 students? Still 47 are joined.
People link consider ma'am Janata.
Shall we start now? No need to wait.
Okay.
Hmm? Or else shall I wait for another 5 minutes?
Okay.
Everybody have seen the link? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Okay. So last class we have started with the common cellular system components. So in that we have three main
Hello.
categories. Yes.
Ma'am, for internals on Monday, can you like tell what are the syllabus items, ma'am?
That's what today's whatever I will cover, and offline classes whatever I have covered. Entire completely one unit. So first unit, unit one will be
Ma'am, we don't have
there for the
that
test.
much time,
Huh?
ma'am. Like that much time we don't have, ma'am. Like it's just one day tomorrow. Monday we have exam, ma'am.
Hmm.
It's
That's what I
difficult to
am.
study that much, ma'am. We have two subjects in a day now.
Yes. So
It's
what I want
difficult
me
for
to
us.
do?
Like, can
Ma'am,
you
at
reduce
least
the syllabus?
What row? Huh?
offline questions we can.
Only offline.
Yes,
Offline is
ma'am.
nothing is there. The offline
Today,
nothing is
what
there.
you are telling, this also included, ma'am.
Yes. That's why I am taking extra class.
Ma'am, it will be more, ma'am.
It will be more nothing. See, only in the first half of the unit you study the little bit of portions. I will tell you. Okay. And the second half is completely one diagram. That is common cellular system components. Complete one diagram. And in that diagram, main functions you have to study. So that also I will tell you. Okay. Then whatever the portions which I am going to cover is simple things like hardware and software view of the cellular network, how it looks, and the identification, software identification, like location area identity and cell global identity. That's all. Okay. So I'll tell you the portions. So it will feel you it is simple and less. Okay. Where shall we start now? So otherwise, half of the portion means I cannot set for 20 marks only. The syllabus will be very, very less. And it will be more for the second internals.
Then
Okay.
exclude today's, ma'am. Only keep that last class.
No, today's is simple thing and it is important. Okay, it is continuous. What is it is the continuity for the previous class. I cannot leave the half of the portion.
Can you give some important questions, ma'am, so that we'll have some time to prepare?
Yeah, that I'll give you. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
I'll give you those questions. Is it fine? Any questions? Okay, the previous block diagram we have studied up to authentication center and equipment identity register. That is, these are the databases which is used inside the network switching system for authentication and encryption purpose, okay, or security purpose. And also equipment identity register is a database which is stored globally in GSM association, so that will store the or validate the status of the mobile subscriber device. So that means how many mobiles are working, how many mobiles are not working, how many mobiles have listed as a blacklist. Blacklist means the mobiles which is reported as a missing or stolen or something like that. Okay, and whitelisted mobiles, registered mobiles, and it will be given access to. It will be given permission, or we can provide the cellular access. So that is called as a whitelisted mobile. So blacklisted mobile will not be given for to access the cellular operations like calling or receiving a call or whatever the operations you wanted to do, it will be blacklisted. So that is called as an equipment identity registers. So it will give you the entire registered mobile system details. Okay. So next we'll move on to the gateway MSC. So you can see gateway MSCs means it will connect two MSCs. Okay. So that will be like MSC interfaces, that wireless mobile network to telecommunication networks. So it will facilitate the coverage for a large geographical area, because in one MSC, entire geographical area is divided into two MSCs means it will connect two MSCs means it will provide the coverage for a large geographical area. Okay, so that is called as a gateway MSC. And also it is connected to the PSTN, land mobile network, and other databases like HLR and other things. Okay, that is called as gateway MSC. Okay, and also we have other function, network management functions. So network management nodes are, we have three. One is called as service center, another one is called as billing gateway, and the service order gateway. What exactly these three are? We all know that SMS service center, so around 160 alphanumeric characters, if it is a text message consists. So we can transmit and receive from the service center to a cellular network and cellular network to a service center. Okay, so service center function is to store and forward the message till the destination MSCs receive the message. So that is the function of the service center. So you can here see service center used to facilitate the operation of a short message service. It performs two functions: mobile originated short message, that means when we are going to transmit the text message, as well as the cellular network. So already sent the message which we need to receive. Okay, so message can be transferred into MS destinations. Okay, service center stores a mobile terminated short message from the some other short message entity. Okay, so that is the function of the message service center. Right. Next is the billing gateway. So the name itself indicates it will collect the billing information based on the call records. Okay, CDR means call data records, and it will generate the billing based on the plan he has taken, whether it is monthly access fees or home usage and roaming usage charges. Okay, and data and special services, if you have anything activated, so for that any usage charges, so that will be generated, and it will give you the revenue to the service provider. So that is called as a billing gateway. Next is the service order gateway. Service order gateway is nothing but a mobile shop. So we are going to purchase a new mobile with a SIM card. So those information they will collect. What is your name? Where is the address? What is the plan you have taken? So connections, everything, all the information has to be collected by the administrative system, and it will be uploaded into the HLR, that is home location register for permanent data storage. Okay, so that is called as service order gateway. So service order gateway is connect a customer administrative system. So we have a two blocks in between. We have administrative and control system. So these are the nodes which comes under the administrative and control system: service order gateway and billing gateway. Okay, so update the current subscriber data already contained in the HLR, or it will use to input the new subscriber data. So new entry to the cellular system, so that has all the information, it has to be entered into the HLR. It is a home location register for permanent data storage of the mobile subscriber. So next is move on to the hardware and software view of the cellular network. So it gives you information about how hardware view it looks. That means we say wherever the mobile is, we need to connect anywhere at any time at any distance. So how it is possible? So how the radio base stations covers the entire geographical area. So that is through if you view into a hardware point of view, so you can see the cellular network like this. So this is the entire geographical area. It is divided into two serving areas. So we call it as MSC1 serving area, and another part, this is that is the right side portions, we call it as MSC2 serving area. Okay, and we have each MSC. See, MSC1 serving area is, it is always integrated with visitor location register, MSC VLR. So each MSC we have 3 to 4 base station controls. See, base station control 1, base station control 2, and base station control 3. So they are given 1A, 1B, and 1C. This is controlled by MSC1. So that is called as MSC1 VLR1. Okay, similarly, each base station control we have a 15 to 20 or 10 to 15 radio base stations, depending upon the density of the user and the density of the user and the area in which you have implemented the cell, whether it is a rural, urban, and the number of users which are using in that particular coverage area. So based on that, the radius of the cell will change. It can be a micro cell or it can be a macro cell. Okay, micro or macro cell, depending upon the density of the users or the area in which the cell which is implemented, or industrial area or rural area. If it is a rural area, means the coverage area is large. If it is an dense user area like urban industrial coverage area, means that is coverage area will be very small. The number of users are more. So something like that. It need not be a same radius of the cells which can be used within the base station control, right? So like this, many radio base stations are covered the some portions of the coverage area which is controlled by BSC 1C, similarly BSC 1B. So these three BSCs are connected to single MSC that will cover the half of the geographical area. Similarly, the remaining half will be controlled by another MSC. This MSC will be controlled by three BSCs, BSC 2A, BSC 2B and 2C. Okay, again, each BSC will have 10 to 15 or 30, depends on the number of radio base stations which is under its control. So within the radio base stations, we have n number of mobiles. Okay, that depends on the area. So these two MSCs are connected to the GMSC. It is called as Gateway Mobile Switching Center. Through this, it is connected to the PSTN. So any LAN mobile calls comes, it will be connected from GMSC to either MSC or MSC 1 or MSC 2. That depends on the HLR, the data which is present in the HLR. GMSC will route the call. The particular dialed information, it is going to check in the home location register. It belongs to the MSC 1 or belongs to MSC 2. Then PSTN to GMSC will route the call to the particular message switching center, mobile switching center. From mobile switching center, then it is routed to the base station control based on the location area identity. Okay, based on the location area identity, it refers to the base station. Then it will route the call to the base station. From the base station, then we need to identify the cells. So that is called as cell global identity. Each radio base station will be identified by globally. It is a 16-bit number. Okay, that is provided by the service provider. So from that, it will connect it to the radio base station. From the radio base station to the mobile station, it is going to connect through air interface. This is how the call will connect. So these are the databases. Okay, so both MSC1 serving area, MSC2 serving area, for both the mobile stations, it will provide the authentication information. So it is going to transmit the triplet information, it containing a random number. Then we have a ciphering key and a signed response. If the signed response is same from the mobile station and the sent by the AUC, then mobile will be registered. Once it is registered, it will transmit the ciphering key to encrypt the data over the air interface. That is a function of the authentication center. It provides the security to the user when the data is transmitted over the air interface. It can be a data, voice, or any signaling information. And also equipment identity register, it will have the information about all the mobiles under its under the cellular network. Okay, so then a HLR, home location register, gives the permanent data information about this. And visitor location register, it will store the mobile station whenever it is moving from one location area identity to another location area identity. So from the VLR only, the MSC can able to transmit the call to the particular BSC. So that's why it is called as visitor location register. Okay, so this is a hardware point of view. You can see the definition of this. Okay, served by MSC1 and another geographical area serviced by MSC2, and each MSCs are connected by 3 base station controls, and each base station control will be connected to several radio base stations, right? And these radio base station can be a both, or can be a micro cell or a macro cell. Okay, so this is how the entire geographical area will be covered by the radio base station and provide the connections. It exists between each radio base station and BSC, between BSC2 and MSC VLR, and between MSC VLR to So these interlink connections can be done by PCM links. Okay. So only with radio base station to MS is a wireless, and VSC to MSC, MSC to VLR, VLR to GMSC will be connected by the PCM links. PCM links means by using T1, E1, J1 carrier system. So whose data rate is of 64 kbps. So from here and onwards. Then from GMS to PSTN or from PSTN to MSC, it is using high bit rate data, that is 100 Mbps or more than that. So many J1, E1, J1 carrier system will be multiplexed here and it will be transmitted to the PSTN. It is a very high bit data rate. So that is what he has explained. The gateway MSC is most likely linked to the PSTN by some form of high capacity T carrier or fiber span, that is SONET based fiber optic cables. In the last class I told you its data rate is greater than 100 Mbps. Okay, the data to the PSTN or from the PSTN. So the MSC will take care, the group switch will take care of it, multiplex and demultiplex the many T1, G1 carrier into the high bit rate data stream. And the data which is coming from the PSTN, which is of 100 Mbps, it is reduced to the 64 kilobits per second, that is D1, E1, J1 carrier system. So this is what happened in the MSC. That operation we called as a backhaul operation. Next is software view of the cellular network. So that means how each and individual components will be identified through a logical name for software control. Okay, that is called as a software view of the cellular networks. So the operation performed within the cellular network to complete calls. Okay, so we are going to perform many operations. So we need to complete the calls, we need to set up the calls, and we need to keep track of the mobile location. At the same time, we need to maintain the radio link if there is any handoff takes place. Okay, and also it is be directed to the different networks. So all these operations will be performed under the program through software control. So this how it is possible to do all such kind of things. So that is through a logical names. So each and every components we have its own logical names. See, for example, the cellular network therefore taken a slightly different appearance to the system software. You can see the figure. The network is defined by location area identity. So this is very important. Location area identity is nothing but a base station control. So identification of a individual base station under the MSC serving area, right? And cell global identity numbers. So there are two numbers we can see. One is location area identity and cell global identity. So location area identity indicates a base station control and cell global identity indicates the radio base station, right? So you can see here location area identity, right? So it consists of mobile country code. The location area identity consists of mobile country code and mobile network code and location area code. Okay, location area identity, LAI is equal to, that is, if this particular coverage area refers to the base station control. Within this we have many cells, that is called as cell global identity. It is equal to location area identity plus cell identity. See, mobile country code is 310, 310, 310, 310. It is same. And network code is also same, 64, 64, 64, 64. Okay, this is one base station control. Next, location area code. Location area code will be different. So for base station control 1, for example, it is 11, and base station control it is 12, and base station control is this third base station control, that is 13. So 11, 12, 13. And the country code and network code will be same for a single service provider. Similarly, MSC2 covering area, it is covered by 4 base station controls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 base station controls. Okay, so mobile country code will be same country, and network will be same, and location area code will be start with 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, so 25 indicates the base station control which is controlled by MSC2. For example, 2A. This is base station control 2B, 2C, 2D, and 2E. So something like that. So this number will be changed and this will be common. So that is called as location area identity. So in this base station control, we need to identify a single radio base station, means we need to add a 16-bit number that is derived by the service provider he is going to assign a 16-bit number to the each radio base station. So around 2 to the power of 16 means 65,565 radio base stations can be derived. So like that, it is a 16-bit number which is added along with the location area identity to identify the each radio base station globally. We call it as cell global identity. So this is called software view of the cellular network. See? Location area identity and cell identity numbers are used. The cell global identity number locate a particular cell, whereas the location area identity define an area for paging. What do you mean by paging? Means if any call, incoming call comes to your mobile, it will page within the base station control. Okay, some group of radio base stations will be paged. Paging is nothing but paging channel is nothing but a control channel. It will indicate the mobile station over many radio base stations, so you are getting an incoming call. Okay, and also it is going to update the location updating messages. So that is the main important function of the location area identity number. Okay, so an incoming call to the mobile will result a page to every cell within the location area. If a mobile moves into another location area, it is required to automatically update its location with the VLR. So it is going to page for all the cells or every cells within the location area. If the mobile is there, it will respond to that. If not, okay, if it is moving to some other cell, again it will take group of cells and it will page. If the mobile responds, it's fine. Else, it will move on to the next group of cells within the location area. Okay, if the mobile is moving from one location to another location or the area or the cell, then that information will be updated in the VLR temporarily because it is not a permanent address. So whenever incoming call comes, based on the VLR location updation, it will route the call to that particular location. So this is how the cell global identity and location area identity will identify the mobile station. So this is the software view of the cellular network. This is MSC boundary. This is one serving area. This is another serving area. So you think of entire globe, it will be covered by many radio base stations and few base station controls and one or two or three mobile switching centers. So both will be connected to the GMSC and to the database. So in such a way that we can connect anywhere, anytime, any person at any moment of time we can connect it. So it will cover entire globe through the radio base station. So this is software view of the cellular network. Next is cellular component identifications. How we are going to identify the subscriber device, how we are going to identify the base station control and radio base stations. Okay, so first one is subscriber device identification. So many mobile stations are there, mobile radio base stations are there. So how we are going to identify the subscriber device? Okay, so mobile subscriber device can have several different system identification numbers associated with it, whether it is a GSM mobile or CDMA mobile. So based on that, the identification numbers will be different. So we can see mobile station ISDN identification number. ISDN means mobile station international subscriber. What is called as international subscriber directory number, I think. Okay, that is ISDN identification number, MS ISDN number. We call it as MS ISDN number. It is a dialable number. So when you are going to receive the call, so that is called as an MS ISDN number. It consists of a country code and number planning area and subscriber number. So what exactly it is? So we can see there are two types of MS ISDN number. One is North American style. Another one is the rest of the world will be using the MS ISDN number. So according to the North America, they are using MS ISDN number called as country code. It consists of a country code and number planning area. Okay, number planning area means the base station controls. So where exactly it is connected, and service subscriber number. That is your 10-digit dialable number. So it consists of a country code, number planning area, and subscriber number. The rest of the world will be using the number called as MS ISDN number called as country code national destination code, NDC, national destination code, and North American system using number planning area, NPA, CC plus NPA plus SN. This is North American style, and CC plus NDC plus SN is we are all using. Okay, national destination code. So both are same. NDC is similar to the NPA, but also can identify the network, whether it is a fixed network or wireless network. So that is the only difference, and the remaining are same. So let us see the MSISDN number for this example. Say for example, a cellular telephone subscriber signs up for a service in Springfield. So Springfield is in that service provider in USA. So if you take your service provider, for example, it is an Airtel or Jio or whatever it is, okay, and area code. So the area is Massachusetts they are using, and USA country. What is the MSISDN number? So we all know that MSISDN number consists of a country code, number planning area in case of a North American system, or rest of the world will be using NDC, that is National Destination Code, one and the same. It is nothing but a area code. Okay. Next is a service subscriber number, 10-digit dialable number. So you can see here for this particular problem, you have MSISDN number can be written as. So we all know that USA it is +1, and area code for Massachusetts it is 413. Okay, and this is your subscriber number. So this is country code, number planning area, that is nothing but an area code, and a subscriber number. So this is how any mobiles we can write the MSISDN number. Next is an IMSI number. So what is IMSI number means? You can see in your SIM card, and the earlier mobiles we can see that IMSI number. So in the back of your mobile, if you search, you will get an IMSI number. Okay. So IMSI number is stored in the SIM card that is inserted into the mobile telephone and provided to the subscriber by the service provider. Okay. So SIM card will be provided by the service provider. So they will provide the IMSI number, International Mobile Subscriber Identity. So that consists of mobile country code. Okay. So that particular service provider each has its own country code. So different service provider has a different code. Mobile country code and mobile network code. This is also different, and MSIN number. Okay, mobile station, mobile subscriber identification number. That is nothing but a subscriber number. So that we call it as IMSI number, International Mobile Subscriber Identity Number. Okay, next we move on to cellular system component addressing. Yes, any doubt? Okay, next is location area identity. So we have seen in the software view of the cellular network, we have an LAI number. LAI number refers to the base station control. So that is consists of a mobile country code, mobile network code plus location area code, right? Mobile country code, mobile network code. Network code will be same, that is provided by the service provider. And location area code means that refers to the base station control. That is called as LAI. So location area identity is used for paging an MS during an incoming call and for location updating of the mobile subscribers. So that is the main function of the LAI number. Next is cell global identity. As I told you, cell global identity refers to the radio base station or identification of a cell within the location area. Within the location area means within the base station control coverage area. So it is formed by 16 bits to the end of a LAI. That means cell global identity, CGI is equal to LAI plus CI, cell identity, right? So that gives you cell global identity. So that is a 16-bit number. So it also allows for the possibility of 65,536 cell sites, which can be derived by the 16 bits location area. Okay. So again, this code is assigned by the obviously the mobile operator. So each radio base station identification number will be assigned by the mobile operator. Actually, it is assigned by the service provider, not the mobile operator. It is assigned by the service provider. Next is base station identity code. So that is nothing but location area identity only. So don't confuse with that. So next is there are 3 different operations of the mobile system. So what we have seen in the first generation cellular system, the same way, in the first generation cellular system, there is no base station control. Directly it is connected to the MSA. But here we have a base station control. That is terminated call means it is an incoming call. Similarly, you have mobile originated call and call release operations. So these 3 operations how exactly it is performed. Step-by-step explanation will be given. So this is the entire cellular network, right? So the incoming call is coming from the PSTN, that is the landline call. So PSTN means it is connected to the GMSC, and in the GMSC we have many MSCs, and GMSC will route the call to the particular MSC, either MSC1 or MSC2. How it will come to know? It will take the information from the HLR, home location register, based on the MSISDN number dialed by the PSTN. So the MSISDN number is 14135381111, right? So this is the country code, this is the area code, and this is the subscriber number. So from that IMSI number, this information, it will come to know that it is routed to MSC VLR1. So many MSCs will be there, or 2 MSCs will be there. Then GMSC will find through HLR, it will route it to MSC, MSC1, right? From the MSC, it will take the MSRN number, mobile station roaming number from the VLR, and the dialed information. It will route the call to the BSC. Okay. Then VLR will give the information where the current location of the MSC. Then it will paste to all the radio base station under the location area, that is BSC control coverage area. Then many radio base stations will be there. Where the mobile is there, it will respond. If the mobile is not there, based on the MSRSN number, it will come to know that BSC will MSC will route the call to the BSC, and it will transmit the paging channel. Okay, so it will transmit the paging channel means it is nothing but it will indicate you are getting an incoming call. So for example, this particular radio base station, the mobile connector is responded. See, all the radio base station mobiles will get the information, but only this mobile will respond to this. So once it is responded, then it will request for the radio base station. It will come to know the status, and those information will be updated in the VLR. Where is the location of this? And also it will assign the traffic channel to this mobile station, and the connection will be established between the PSTN to GMSC, GMSC to MSC VLR, MSC VLR to BSC, and BSC to radio base station 1, 2, 3, or whatever it is, and from that to mobile. This is how the number will be connected to the particular mobile station in the destination. So this is called as terminated call. With the help of MSISDN number and the IMSI number, the GMSC with the help of HLR, it will route to the particular MSC, and from the VLR, it will take the MSRN number and it will route that particular BSC, because many BSCs will be connected to MSC. So it will identify the particular BSC. From there, it will transmit the paging channel, which is a control channel, the group of cells. And the way the mobile is there, it will respond. Then BSC will assign the traffic channel to radio base station to MS. So once the channel exists, conversation start, then it will cut the call. So this is what I explained in this theoretical part. You need to write it. Okay, is it clear? Any doubt? So MSRN is nothing but mobile station roaming number. So that will be collected by the VLR, visitor location register. So it will give you the current location updation of the mobile which you have dialed. Based on the MSISDN number, it will route the call to that particular location. Next is mobile originated call. Originated call means we need to make a call to the person, to the PSTN. So mainly they are taken the PSTN. Okay, because mobile to mobile means the same process will be. If it is in the same radio base station means again MSC it will return back. The process will be same, only to the PSTN or from the PSTN won't be there. Okay, so now it is mobile to landline. To the PSTN means it is landline. See, the mobile initiates the call. It will request for the channel response. Okay, so then it will, the request is passed to base station control. Then base station control will assign the channel location to the radio base station. That channel allocation information will be sent to the mobile stations. So once it gets the channel location information, then the VLR, it will give the information to MSC. MSC VLR will update the in which radio base station the mobile station is situated. That means the temporary information or where the particular location information will be stored in the VLR, and keep this mobile station busy. If any incoming calls comes to this mobile when it is trying to make a call, so we will hear that the number is busy. That is with the help of VLR. Okay. So once it is channel is assigned, the same information MSC will connect it to the PSTN. Okay. So all these things will be done, and authentication information, everything will be transmitted to BSC to mobile station, that is authentication center, to MSC, MSC to BSC, BSC to RBS, and to the MS. So once it is authenticated and transmit the ciphering key to encrypt the channel information, it may be a voice, video, or whatever it is. Once it is encrypted, it start transmitting the messages or start conversation. So this is how the channel will be exist for originating a call. And similarly, call release operations. So call release operation means once the conversation is over, so the disconnect message has to be transmitted. So connection management, see, mobile station will send the disconnect information to radio base station to BSC, BSC to MSC. Then MSC will transmit this disconnect information to the other part of the end. So once it is disconnected, the release information, the channel which is already exist, that has to be released. So MSC will give the indication to release the channel. Then base station control will send the information to release the channel to the radio base station, and that information is passed to the mobile station to release the connection management or the connection which is already exist. So once it is released, means radio resource, that is the channel which is exist, will be released. So the same information will be transmitted to the other party, that is destination party. Okay. So this is how call release operations will be established. Call release initiated by the mobile consists of 3 steps. The mobile sends a disconnect message to radio base station. The message is passed to BSC and sent through a signaling link to the MSC. Then MSC sends a release message to the MS, that is other part of the MS. MS sends a release complete message back to the MSC, acknowledgement that the operation is complete. The network initiates a channel release by sending a clear command message from MSC to BSC. BSC sends the channel release message to mobile through the radio base station, sends a deactivate message to RBS, stop sending periodic message to mobile, and control channels. In the channel release message, it disconnects the traffic channel and sends the LAPDM disconnect frame. So that is LAPDM is nothing but links access protocol for D layer. M is nothing but modified. Okay, that your protocol, when you are studying about protocols, these things will come into picture. Okay, these are protocols which is used in the that is physical layer, data link layer. So there you are going to study. Then RBS sends LAPDM acknowledgement frame back to the mobile. Release indication message is sent to RBS to the BSC. Then RF channel release message to the RBS, that is acknowledged as shown. The RBS stops transmitting on traffic channel. After short period, a clear command complete message is sent to MSC from the BSC. So that is called as call release. Once you cut the call, so these are the many acknowledgement or handshaking messages which is transmitted from MS to radio base station to MS. Okay, so that is called as call release operations. So these are the questions related to the topic which you have covered, that is second half of the unit 1. Is it clear? Any doubt? Hello? Hello? Are you sleeping? Yes. Hello? Fine, no doubts. Only one student. Answer from the one student. Many are connected. I don't think so. They all are active. Hello? Say yes at least once, all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me see how many are present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
any
ma'am.
doubt regarding
Yes, ma'am.
this? Fine. So let us see the problems now. The questions and problems. Thank you. So which two elements of wireless cellular system perform the air interface function? So as we all know that both there are two components, that is mobile station and the radio base station. Next, you need to write the function of transcoder controller. So there are two important functions. One is rate adaptation, another one is a vocoding, right? Next, visitor location register function, home location register function. This is temporary data storage, this is the permanent data storage. So where exactly visitor location will be used? It is along with the MSC to update the location of the MS, right? Then home location register will be permanent data storage, right? So whenever incoming call or outgoing call, the information will be collected by the home location register before route the call from GMSC to any MSCs. Then what is the function of the mobile switching center? So here mobile switching center, routing, setting up a call and supervision of base station control. Along with that, one more operation we call it as a backhaul operation, right? So backhaul means connecting the PSTN, that is multiplex and demultiplex, many T1, E1, J1 carrier system are a PCM link. So that operation also will be done by the mobile switching center. So a mobile switching center, MSC, we have a block diagram, we have many MUX, central processing unit and all those things. So you need to go through the block diagram of it individually, okay? And what wireless cellular network element or elements provide security functions for the system? So there are two functions, authentication center and HLR, right? So it will provide the authentication information called as triplet. So it provides the ciphering key for encryption of your voice, video or data. Next is called as LAI, used for what purpose? Cell global identity, CGI, that is what does cell global identity number corresponds to? So it corresponds to a radio base station, right? So cell global identity number corresponds to a radio base station or a cell. And location area identity is nothing but a base station control. What is the purpose of using it? The purpose is whenever incoming call comes, the radio base station, the base station control will page to the particular location area. So that is one thing. Another one is location updation of the mobile. Then what is the function of radio network controller? So that is in CDMA it is there. And name two core network associated with 3G cellular network, that is the previous unit. What is the difference between MSISDN number and IMSI number? So what is MSISDN number? MSISDN number is nothing but a dialable number. So you are getting a country code, area code and a subscriber number. So IMSI number is a number which is provided by the service provider, which is stored in your SIM card, right? So that is unique identity of your SIM. Next, what is the purpose of global title translation? These three questions you can skip. Okay, using the internet, you can find the mobile country code for Mexico. So any countries for different network user, you can find the country code. And explain the function of mobile station roaming number, MSRN number, right? MSRN number will be stored in the VLR. So whenever the mobile internet, whenever you get an incoming call, with the help of MSRN number, base station control will route the call to the particular radio base station. So in the MSRN, that is mobile station roaming number specifications, you can go through with mobile terminated call. Okay. During a mobile originated call, when it is authentication and encryptions are performed. Okay. Once you get the connection, then you are going to get the encryption key, right? Start conversation. Before that, your mobile will be authenticated. Also, your data will be encrypted. What is the first step performed by the mobile during the call release operations? What is the last step performed during the call release operations? And what wireless cellular elements are involved in a mobile originated call? Almost all cellular networks are involved in the mobile originated call. So these are the simple questions, right? The only thing is you need to study the entire cellular network block diagram and make the points of each functional databases and the that is the main components functions. So that you need to study. And what is backhaul operation? What is the function of the transcoders? Those are the important questions. And how mobile call will be originated. Okay, not AMP system. I am talking about a present scenario. Okay, that is what I have explained now. And also we have mobile terminated call and call release operation. Anyway, it is simple. So these are the questions which may comes in the test. And along with that, the previous, that is the offline portion. So offline portions which I have covered, what is an AMP system characteristics, that is what is the downlink, what is the uplink frequency, and what is so subscriber identification number, what is MIN number, and what else, SID numbers, that is called as an identification numbers, subscriber, and also we have a characteristics. And also we have studied about AMPS operation, AMPS initialization, originated call, terminated call, mobile AMPS handoff operations. Okay, there are four different operations. And also we have studied comparison between first G and the remaining cells, and features of 3G and 4G. That's all. Right? So these are the portions which I have covered in the offline. So that portions and the remaining of when I covered for online. So these two topics which will be present. So combinedly it is unit 1 completely. It is covered. Okay, that will be for test 1. Any doubt regarding this? Anything else you require? Yes. If you want any questions, you can ask me now itself. Okay. Because you have test, what are the things you have studied, you should study all those things I have given. So accordingly, you just prepare. So I'll stop today's class. All the best for your test. Okay, thank you.